Hey guys, Chantel Jordan's here with Team Stevens and Exit Realty Metro, bringing you HRM statistics for the entire 2022 year. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with where we ended out, but then I'm gonna backtrack to where we started and kind of transition us through the year to get to where we are now. So first off, we've had just over 5,500 houses sell, which is down 26% from where we were last year. Now, in terms of average sale price, we're at just under $536,000, which is up 16% from where we were last year. So let's backtrack to January of 2022. So where we started out was super low housing inventory. So we were just over half a month's worth of housing inventory, and that was coupled with super low interest rates. So what that led to was a lot of activity on the buyer side. Now, what did that look like? Well, if you listed a house in January of 2022, you saw about 23 people or 23 groups of people come through your home. So what that meant was we saw more offers from buyers, and that drove the sale price higher. Now let's skip forward to March and April of 2022, because traditionally the spring market is always the busiest time of market for us anyway. So when we're in March and April of earlier this year, we saw still low interest rates, still low inventory, and more buyers coming to the market because it was a spring market anyway. So at that point, we were seeing houses sell for 125% of their list price. So to cap off those first few months of the year, when we were really at the peak, we saw an average sale price of $569,000. Now let's transition to the latter half of the year. So we started to see more housing inventory. So we went from right around a half month's worth of inventory up to about a month's worth of housing inventory, and we started to see interest rates climb. So as you'll probably remember, we have seen 7 interest rate hikes over the entire year. So midway through the year, we're seeing more inventory, we're seeing increased interest rates, we're starting to come into the summer months anyway, where it tends to slow down. And now we're seeing less showings per listing. So if you remember, in January, you were averaging about 23 showings per house listing. Now, midway through the year, we're at about 6 or 7 showings per listing, which obviously equates to less offers and the price starting to fall as well. So with this decrease of activity, we also saw a change in listing strategy. So earlier in the year, we tended to underprice listings because we knew that they were selling for, 125% of the list price. Now, midway through the year, we started to change our listing strategy. So we started to list things more accurately where they should sell, or perhaps even a little bit higher, knowing that they might sell a little bit under their list price. So now in the second half of 2022, we're seeing the average sale price at $490,000 versus the $569,000 that we were seeing earlier in the year. So that's a 14% difference in about 6-month period. So to cap it all off, where we're at now is definitely much higher interest rates than we saw in early 2022. We're also seeing much higher inventory in 2023 than we saw in early 2022. So right now we're hovering around 2 months worth of inventory, whereas if you remember in early 2022 it was at half a month's worth of inventory. So the game has totally changed. So whereas in the peak of 2022 when things were selling at 125% of their list price, now we're seeing things sell at about 98 to 100% of their list price. So where are we going in 2023? Well, if we look back at 2022 and we look at how our city has grown, so we've grown by over 20,000 people in 2022. That puts us at the second highest growing city, just behind Moncton, in all of Canada. So what does that growth mean for us? Well, hopefully it's our saving grace in sale prices. So we'll probably continue to grow in 2023, and that should allow our sale prices to remain hopefully pretty stable and not have a huge decrease in 2023. So to cap it all off, where we're starting in 2023 is reasonably high inventory, so about 2 months worth of inventory. We're starting off at pretty high mortgage rates, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future, whether Bank of Canada will continue raising it or not. But we do think that this immigration that we've seen in the last year, and hopefully that will continue in 2023, will keep our prices fairly stable. As always, we'll keep you updated every month going forward. And if you ever have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thanks, and I'll see you next month.